Hey guys, it's Shalena with Shalena Speaks, and today we're going to be talking about Diddy. We're going to be talking about mental health in America. We're going to be talking about the never ending war. How are all you guys doing this evening? I hope you guys mentally, physically, spiritually are doing well. Let's just get into it. So, Diddy has been in the news for over 6 months now, just constantly back to back, lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit. And my biggest concern is yes, all of his victims and everything that they were going through or went through was just absolutely horrible. But it's the justice system's response time to these victims. I have questions. Um, Most times, especially in the African American community, it's frowned upon to go to the police. It's frowned upon to, talk to anyone outside the home in regards to any type of abuse or anything like that, right? So these these victims, mental health has got to be, or maybe has been, the most hell for them. Mental health issues are real in America. They're real in America. And the trauma that is being alleged by Sean Diddy Combs, um, one can only imagine the type of mental health woes that one may experience, you know? So let's just get into what I really want to talk about today. But mental health, it's just something I have a special place for it in my heart. I feel like there's not enough resources and things of that nature. I feel like, especially in the African American community, it's not talked about enough. You know what I mean? And so many people suffer in silence, and we don't want anyone to do that. You know what I mean? And if you need help, there's a lot of resources out there, and I'll link it in the description. If you are someone who is struggling with mental health, don't feel bad about it. There's a lot of resources out there for you. Okay? Diddy. So, all of these things that are being alleged by Diddy is outrageous. These lawsuits are absolutely horrendous, absolutely crazy. And for Diddy to come outright and say in the beginning that, hey, he didn't do anything, he was going to clear his family's name, and then that video came out with what he did with Cassie, what he did to Cassie, it just further solidified the initial thought that most people had about the lawsuit when he was going to sue Empire. Now, if you watch the first season of Empire, then you would know that Diddy filed a lawsuit in regards to the likeness of him, saying that the storyline was too close to line with his personal life. It's actually out there. It's really out there. You can go do your own personal research. I ask that I always suggest you go do your own personal research, but it's really out there. So Diddy went at Empire because he was like, hey, this is my life. And if you look at the different names, the character names and the character traits and what they did and the roles they played, they're fairly similar to certain people that were or is in Diddy's life. And that's pretty scary because back then, everybody was like, that's a joke. It doesn't resemble Diddy's life. Not Sean Diddy Combs, not Puff Daddy, not Bad Boy, right? But now the world as we know it knows that there's different truths to that. There may have been some serious truths to that whole statement. And it's really crazy how the general public never really listens, never really looks deep. We got to do better as a people. This is really ridiculous that it even got this far with him, that he was allowed to allegedly do all these things, or other people that he associated allegedly did all these other things to these people, these heinous things to these people, these victims, because that's what they are. And they're healing, you know? And it's kind of hard to heal when every other day, I can only imagine, there's a story out about, allegedly this so called monster, because that's what they're calling him, a monster. Yep. I just couldn't even imagine. But believe it or not, in everyday life, again, in our good old communities, there's a lot of this stuff going on. And again, we're not supposed to talk about it. You can't say anything. I can't say anything. We can't say anything. Nobody knows nothing. And we got to come out of that. Okay? Okay. So let's get into this. How do you guys feel about the war? This never-ending war. It seems like there's a ton of wars everywhere. The war in Ukraine, the war in Palestine because of the Hamas. If I'm not saying it right, please correct me. It's just war here, war there, war everywhere. It seems like. How do you guys feeling about that? For me, it's scary. It's scary to live in this day and time where, again, every 2 seconds it seems like there's something going off. It's something wrong. It's something wrong. It's something wrong. But again, I encourage you to do your research and keep yourself abreast on what in fact is going on and why these wars are happening, which I thought about doing a video on. If you guys are interested in me doing some type of video on those types of things, then I will definitely do my research and I will definitely provide that for you, because I might just do my research anyway, because I'm just curious about it in general. Like, how did it all start? Like, all of these different conflicts, how did they all start? Um, and how the United States are supporting or playing a part in any of that. So I'm just curious about that. And if you do know, please do let me know in the comments. That would help educate me. I'm open to being educated. I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, I'm scared of politics. Not at all. I'm not afraid to ask questions when it comes to politics and stuff like that. It's something that I am definitely open to learning more about. I want to be informed on what's going on in and outside of our great nation. Um, so speaking of our nation, election time. Uh, how do you guys feel about the election? Right. So the election, I personally feel like this is some crazy daisy stuff. I've never seen an election so complex such as this. I've never seen an election so rattled visually. We hear about the behind the scenes stuff later on after the fact. But this has been in our faces day after day, shenanigans, pure shenanigans from both parties, from Trump to Biden, and now Miss Harris. It is important that we all vote. So I just want to say that. Pick your candidate and you have to vote. Your vote matters. It does make a difference. And I don't mean your vote just matters, like, okay, just for the presidential election, but overall, like your county, your state, you know what I'm saying? Those types of things. You need to go out again, do your research, educate yourself on how all that works, and, go ahead and vote. But you have to get up, you have to get out there, and you must go vote. I know you have your right to exercise not voting, but then think about how that would affect your community, your city, your county, your state, your zone, your nation. So when you're thinking about exercising your right to not vote, I need everyone to think about how that truly affects your day-to-day life. or how that truly affects your day to day life with your loved ones or your children or your children's children's. It's not just about you. These things matter. So, as far as the election goes, I'm not pushing either side. I would just encourage you guys to do your research. And yes, I am voting. You know I am voting. If you really know me, I will be there with bells and whistles on voting. um, but that's just who I am. So, if you guys would like me to do any videos on those type of topics where I'm educating you on the processes and how that goes when it comes to voting, just let me know. This is Shalena from Shalena Speaks. It was good chatting with you guys. Everything is going to be great. Everything is already wonderful. And you guys have a great day. Peace.